welcome 19-year-old Lacey and her sister Valerie to the show. Different than our first two guests, but similar because of the violation, especially in the family. Why don't you tell us what happened? How old were you?
I was 8 years old, and it went through until I was 14. My brother-in-law sexually molested me, and I kept it a secret for so long because I was so scared. I went from a point of not knowing, from being scared to being ashamed. And then when I told, everyone turned against me. I didn't have one person that stood
with me. The whole family turned against you?
Yeah.
Let's back up and talk about where this started. How did it start? You were over visiting your sister and what?
My mom worked during the days, and my family, my mom and dad was getting a divorce, so I stayed with my sister during the day. And she was at work, and he was watching me at that time, and it was a small little living room, and he told me to come over there because I needed to do something for him. And he grabbed my hand and made me touch him, and he said that I needed to do this because that's what I was supposed to do, and that that's what guys wanted, and if I didn't like it now, I would, and I needed to do that.
Val, why? Well, it's a rhetorical question because this is your husband at the time. He was your husband at the time. And when I say, why would you not believe your sister, I can understand in some ways. But now looking back on this, you do realize what your sister went through.
Yes.
And do you still think that maybe this didn't happen?
No. I feel that she's told me the truth, and there was always the doubt in the back of my mind that it had happened. But I had a perfect marriage that any woman could have ever wanted. I had a perfect husband and a good father. He never would have gave me any reason to leave. And but when my sister came forward with this, the doubt was always in my head. Is she telling the truth or is she lying? And I questioned it so many times, and I would go to him and I would say, why is she saying these bad things about you? And my sister was very, very close to me, and she was very close to my husband at the time. And what I never understood is if he had done all these bad things to her, then why did she keep coming around?
And on many occasions, you tried not to go around.
Yeah. My mom, when it started, and it was when I was younger, it was a place I had to go for my mom's sake. And then eventually I started avoiding going around there, and I would almost get into fights so I wouldn't have to go around there. And at the end, when I ended up telling, me and my sister was hardly even at speaking terms because I was avoiding her so much at that time.
But this isn't settled.
No.
Why not?
There's trust issues. When I had decided to get out of the situation, my sister stood behind him in every way when it came to my children. And I feel like if someone's done something so bad to you like that, why try to put my kids through it? I would have stood up and thought, that man doesn't need to see his children. But she didn't. She stood behind him 100% and said...
Let's find out why. Why?
Because of the kids. She left me for 3 years. She didn't talk to me. If she went through that hard of time and not... Why? She could have made it through the rough times, him going to prison and stuff. Then she needed to stay strong. I believe in vows. And she stayed through the hardest times. Just me coming back in her life. I felt when I came back in her life, it was because she wanted a divorce because I came back into her life. We started talking again because she was still married to him, and she was still with him when we started talking again.
I guess I had to take a break, but please welcome Rosario Love to the show. Rosario, let me get a break. When I come back, I want you to help Valerie because I honestly thought, I'm gonna tell you God's honest truth. I thought in some way, shape, or form, these two women had not reconciled. But I thought these two women remembered they were sisters and they were moving forward in this. But there still is anger here from a wife. And you know what? You're justified in having your feelings. Please, let's that thing. I'm not pointing at you or you. I'm just you're justified in those feelings. But I'm gonna tell you, I think your feelings are wrong. But now we got to help you realize that, because to ask her to do anything between the ages of 8 and 15 is a question like asking us to bring the moon here and put it on my stage. It ain't happening. We'll take a break. We'll be back right after this.